The 6-game suspension, but NFL analyst Ron Jaworsky said the following on Dak's second season, quote, "I can give you all the excuses. At the end of the day, players have to make plays. I think Dak started to lose some confidence. When Dak loses his confidence, like all quarterbacks, you lose a little bit. So now we're going to see year 3 how he rebounds from what happened in year 2. It's that chess game. You have to counter moves all the time. He did not play as well as he can play, but I know the guy has God-given talent to be a terrific quarterback." And one stat, guys, I want to mention quickly that really jumps out is the interceptions. He had 4 in his rookie year, 13 this past season. Will Kane back here.
Why don't y'all start with some lowlights? Why don't you throw a few more interceptions, highlight packages of fumbles and interceptions?
Okay. I was actually going to start with Stephen A., but I...
No. Go ahead, Steve.
You're a little fired up.
This is your lowlights. Let's start with Stephen A. You want to emphasize a few more interceptions, a few more fumbles?
That sounded very disrespectful.
I mean, your attitude would be towards Dak.
I'm going to let it slide, rookie. You understand? Don't let me get started with you, but here's the deal. I told you that Dak Prescott, if you recall, it's on camera, send the tapes. I told you that Dak Prescott would throw at least 12 interceptions. You said 4 interceptions last year's rookie year. I said he would at least triple that this upcoming season. Essentially exactly what happened.
Look how proud you are.
I am very proud of it. And, yeah, because it's like it was a foregone conclusion. It was very, very predictable. Once the footage is out, the film is there, you get the tapes, and you get an opportunity to watch what a person does, what their habits are, what have you. It is what it is. I'm not going to completely excoriate Dak on this, though, because I know the brother can play. I mean, he's no scrub. My thing is that I do believe it was a bad year in disrespect in all seriousness. You really didn't show us much once Ezekiel Elliott went down. And to be dependent, your success to be so dependent on your running back, it's problematic. Because what happens is with the great quarterbacks, when we think about the great ones, when Ben Roethlisberger didn't have Le'Veon Bell, there were moments where he reminded us who he was. You know, Drew Brees didn't have a running game for years, and we knew what he was. Don't get me started with that bad man that he is, Aaron Rodgers, and what he has done religiously without a running back. It matters. And all I'm saying to you is that, listen, I can harken back to the days when Dan Marino and before him Dan Fouts both had Chuck Muncie running the football for them or whatever, but it was really them and their passing attack and their greatness as throwers that really set the stage for any kind of running game that they ultimately had. And Dallas is the opposite of that, with Ezekiel Elliott being that guy and Dak Prescott feeding off of it. I still expected more from Dak. I know there was trouble with the offensive line. I know Des Bryant seems to have lost a step. Your number 2 receivers, whether it's Cole Beasley or Terrence Williams, I don't know about them. Jason Witten even seems to have lost a step, and we all know how slow he was, even though he's always open for some reason. I still expected more from Dak, and I didn't see that once Ezekiel Elliott went down, and that's what disturbed me.
Look, Dak is going to be fine. Dak is an excellent quarterback. I don't want to, make it sound as though Cowboys fans are down on your guy.
Well, you can say he's excellent, or did he have an excellent season?
No. I'm going to get to that. Dak is an excellent quarterback, Will. He is not in Carson Wentz's class. I know it's like I'm kicking you when you're down right now. We can revisit this in a year or two, and by then it will be even more obvious, as I told you last year. But that's because Carson Wentz is differently special than everyone else in this kind of age group. Dak, if you have Dak Prescott, you can win a Super Bowl. You have a guy who can maybe one day make the Hall of Fame. He has just everything about him since his first preseason game. You go, that guy could be a great quarterback. The guy's like playing for him. He makes plays when he needs to, all those things. But here's the thing. Progress is not linear. Even if your O-line stays the same and everything else is the same, it doesn't mean you're going to be better in year 2 than year 1. It does mean eventually you should be better in year 3 or 4 than you were as a rookie, but it's okay to see a little regression, particularly with the O-line in shambles last year, and he didn't have Zeke for a while. And I'll say this, as a rookie, Will, the reason his interception rate was so low was they played it safety first through the air with him. Not a lot of passes down the field. Usually the criticism of him as a rookie was he left even bigger plays on the field, even when he would complete plays. And as a Giants fan, I'm psyched that between Alex Smith and Dak Prescott, half of the quarterbacks in the division don't throw the ball more than 8 yards downfield. Usually, that's awesome as a Giants fan. But like ribbing aside, Dak is going to be fine. He had a year where he regressed a little due to circumstances largely out of his control.
Sophomore slump for a reason.
Right. All right, let's do away with the pleasantries to start. Let's start out where both of you are right. These are my notes. What does that top one say right there?
I can't read that gibberish. It's like a doctor.
It is.
I mean, I can't read a damn thing you wrote.
Right as usual.
No, I'm sorry, not on this one, Max. It says, this is who you said he would be. The first note. That was directed at Stephen A. Smith because I watch the program First Take, and I appear on it from time to time. I was aware that you said his interceptions would go up to 12 or 13. So we have to put this into context. You were right in your prediction. Let's not act like Dak Prescott had a downfall. Dak Prescott had all of a sudden been exposed. Dak Prescott had an average to somewhat below average season. His first season was absolutely all pro. So we're putting into context here. We're talking about a guy who regressed, as you put it, Max, to average. So who is he going to be going forward? Now, this is where you're both wrong. First, Max, you're wrong. Come 2 to 3 years from now, Dak Prescott will be a top 5 to top 10 quarterback in the NFL in the same class as Carson Wentz. My prediction of Dak versus Carson is not sitting well today. I understand. I also understand.
Why don't you understand that?
Yeah, I got that one. But life is long, and you defeat your own argument when you say Dak can win a Super Bowl. He perhaps could be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm sorry, but that's the highest class there is.
There's levels even in
there are
Hall of
levels.
Fame.
There are
Let's just be clear. Carson Wentz hasn't won a Super Bowl, and Carson Wentz is in no Hall of Fame. In fact, last I looked, Carson Wentz backup won a Super Bowl. So let's just wait on this Carson's the savior of the NFL thing going forward. He's nice, and so is Dak. And I feel very comfortable that 5 years from now, the conversation will be Carson, Dak, probably Matt Stafford, Russ Wilson still. These will be the guys that we are talking about. The diagnosis, very quickly, it's not Zeke. It's just not Zeke. That's not the problem. Dallas had the second-rated running attack in the NFL after Jacksonville this year. The problem, and you said it, you alluded to it, the primary problem was the offensive line. Dak got hit. He got hit a lot. And when he did, he lost confidence, as Jaws just said. Jaws has great analysis on what happened to Dak. His eyes went down. He checked down. He played scared. We lost who he was the first year. If Dallas wants to help Dak, protect him and design plays to get to his strengths. Run, move, bootleg. That will make Dak who he is again.
I mean, a lot of it is, and this goes for quarterbacking around the league, what kind of position do the coaches put the player in, and who is surrounding the player? You can see Dak's excellence he's so excellent that is independent of his surroundings. You can see a quality there. But he's not quite as good as he looked as a rookie if you extrapolate from that. Well, oh, my God, he's already good. He's going to be the greatest quarterback. Not going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And similarly, he's not a below-average quarterback. We know that the truth is somewhere in between. Yeah. I think that is a franchise quarterback that Dallas Cowboys fans should be psyched to have.
Defense has also had a year of tape on him, but as I mentioned earlier, they do call it sophomore slump for a reason. This happens often.
Look, the
really
reason
the third year.
The reason I'm comfortable betting that Dak will look more like his first year than his second year 5 years from now is because of his intangibles. I mean, by every account, he has incredible work ethic. Every other skill player on that team is talking about Dak is that guy. So I have belief in who he can make himself.
So emotional.
He also, don't forget, in the
emphatic, Mom.
In the playoffs, when they fell way down, when they fell way down to Green Bay, Dak led them almost all the way back. If that's against, there are levels to this. Aaron Rodgers, there's no one like him. I think Carson Wentz has a chance to at least occupy that position in the NFL, and I think he's much closer to it already than I thought he'd be when healthy. But if not for Aaron Rodgers, the Cowboys win a playoff game because Dak brought them all the way back.
Oh, will you stop it? Oh, stop
Rodgers made a play. No one else
let me ask you a question. How the hell they get down by so much then? He wasn't on the field then?
Slow start.
Just stop that. Y'all act like I love how y'all bring up the comeback, but y'all don't bring up the deficit that took place. Where the hell was he? Eating popcorn in the stands? He was on the field. He was on the field when they went down.
You replace Aaron
really?
Rodgers.
That's your hold on. That's your comeback. That's your comeback, Molly. That's your we like a good comeback. That's your comeback with it. That's what I mean. What was Dak Prescott doing? Was he eating pretzels and sitting in the stands eating popcorn or something like that?
His comeback.
Excuse me.
He's plotting his comeback.
Plotting his comeback. Y'all stick with that. You stick with that, please. Stop it. Or whatever.
Well, thanks.
You know, a whole bunch of people make it better, make it interesting. You know what? Atlanta made it interesting too by having the lead in the Super Bowl. How about that? How about that? Atlanta a couple years ago.
So you take away from Tom Brady because he fell behind by Atlanta. Not that he came back on him.
I'm saying that's what y'all doing. That's what I'm saying y'all doing.
No, he focused on
I'm saying that's what y'all doing. That's what y'all doing.
What did Tom Brady do in the first half of that Super Bowl? Eat popcorn?
That's right.
All right,
What'd he
Will
do?
Kane Show, 3 to 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Stephen A. says lead in 1 to 3. Coming up, he is the
ultimate
Greek
leader.
freak.
They might not listen to him if they ain't
Of
listening to me
his
first.
athleticism on the court, but find out why the Bucks might need to keep Giannis on the bench more often. Stephen A. has a strong message for Mark Cuban after the Mavs are in the news for all the wrong reasons. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up. First take.
Smash.